Of all the ranks in Rocket League, I think there's one thing that the entire Rocket League community can agree on. Let's be real, Champ is the worst. I mean, not only if you're watching this video are you most likely stuck in the Champ rank, because about half the entire Rocket League community is these days, there's so many different reasons why Champ is such a bad rank. People are toxic, people have big egos, many people get hard stuck there for pretty much years in fact. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through why I feel Champ is the worst rank to not only play in, but to be hard stuck in Rocket League. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Drop a like and subscribe. My first reason as to why Champ is such a bad rank then is going to be the levels of toxicity. Now let's be real. There is toxicity in every rank in Rocket League, pretty much from as low as Bronze all the way up to GC3, and sometimes there's even toxicity up in SSL. So when you're playing Rocket League, it is kind of expected. Now don't get me wrong, there is certainly a place in the Rocket League community for a bit of banter, and I'm all here for it. You know, if your opponent misses an easy save or misses an open net, you might nice shot or what to save them. It is kind of what happens, and I think everyone's quite accepting of that in the Rocket League community. However, recently, there's been a lot more private messages where people are typing up their own messages, not just like what a save or nice shot. People are actually typing their own messages in chat that are a little bit more offensive and just make the game overall a bit more toxic, and that's where it becomes a little bit unacceptable, I feel. You know, lots of people are having to turn off their chats these days just because they can't deal with the levels of toxicity. People come onto Rocket League to just play it and have a lot of fun, you know? And if you're playing with friends, maybe you can have fun if like you miss an open shot and your teammate water saves you or something, or nice shots, you know, that's just a bit of fun. But when we're like solo queuing with a teammate and your teammate's just pretty much making fun of you all the time just because he's toxic, that's where it gets to a point where it sort of defeats the fun part of the game for me. And I don't know how you lot feel. Make sure to drop a comment down below in the comments. But this is why I feel Champ is such a bad rank, because it feels like constantly you're under pressure, and if you make any type of mistake, you're going to get some sort of comment that's a little bit more offensive than just a what a save or nice shot. But yeah, toxicity is reason number one. Let's get into reason number two. So leading on from that, we have reason number two, which I feel is inconsistency. Now let me know what you guys think about this, but I think the inconsistency in Champ is honestly the worst of any of the ranks in Rocket League. I mean, how many times do I go for a ball and see like my teammate go for a shot and he misses an open net, right? And then 10 seconds later, he comes down the field and scores a reset musty double tap. That is what it's like. I mean, the levels of inconsistency are unreal, and it makes me question, you know, when I'm in a game constantly, especially if I'm solo queuing, it's not so bad if you're playing against an opponent that's inconsistent, because obviously that benefits you. But if you're playing with a teammate that's maybe inconsistent, which let's be real, most people are in Champ, and I'm not excluding myself from this. You know, I was hard stuck Champ for a year. I finally escaped it, got to around about GC2, but I'm back in Champ at the moment, and I'm very inconsistent too. You know, I miss open net, stuff like that. But overall, it just makes it really hard to try and get out of the rank, because I mean, the ball will come straight at me and I'll flip out the way, and then the next second I'll go and score a flip reset. And it also just means that the trust between teammates, so like if I'm solo queuing with someone, I always question, well, am I right to trust you in terms of when you're going for the ball? Do I trust that you're going to be able to hit it? Like, do I push up and trust that you've got that save covered? Because sometimes they will, but then sometimes they'll also completely fluff it, and that'll put you a goal down. And it's just sort of things like that that makes Champ such a horrible rank, and probably, in my opinion, one of the hardest in Rocket League, not in terms of skill, but just in terms of everything that goes on, because you never really can fully trust someone, as the levels of inconsistency mean that you never really know whether your opponent's going to score that open net or whether your teammate's going to make that easy save. It really does just hang in the balance. Inconsistency in Champ, I'm going to give a solid 2 out of 10. So my third reason why Champ is such a horrible rank is going to be being hard stuck in the rank. I mean, for those of you that are Champs, feel free to drop a comment and let me know, how long have you been stuck in the Champ rank? I know personally that for literally over a year and a half, I was stuck in between Champ 1 and Champ 3, and no matter what happened or who I faced, I simply couldn't rank up. It was like one day I'd come on and win 5 games in a row and lose none, and then the next day I would just go and lose all that progress. There never really seemed to be any long-term progress made. I mean, if you relate to this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe and let me know in the comments. But it can't only just be me. There's hundreds of thousands of players in Champ that really struggle to get out, and videos on how to get out of Champ are some of the most popular on YouTube. So I can tell that lots of people do tend to get really hard stuck in this rank. And again, that links back to my point about inconsistency. You're never really sure who you can trust and what's going on in the games in Champ, And a lot of the time, the different opponents are very different skill, and it just makes it very difficult to try and get out of the rank. You know, 1 minute you're playing a guy that's really, really good and really mechanical, and the next minute you're playing a guy that can barely hit a ball straight. It's what it feels like in Champ, and it really is all up in the balance depending on how you're going to win the games and what's going on in the games. It just makes it really, really difficult and overwhelming when you're trying to rank out from Champ, and that's why a lot of the community is stuck in the rank. And the difference in skill leads me on to my point number 4, which is going to be smurfing in the Champ rank. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I queue into a Champ game, at least 1 in 2 games, there tends to be someone with a GC title from the most recent couple of seasons. Don't get me wrong, again, I am part of this. I'm a Season 9 Grand Champion. It's currently Season 11. I flex my Season 9 Grand Champion tag the same way anyone else would if they got Grand Champion. Because, let's face it, it's pretty cool when you load in and you see a glowy title. Yeah, it looks cool. But it means that in Champ, there's so many ex-GCs or people that had a good season last season and played in the GC lobbies and now have fallen down back into the Champ ranks, that Champ 2 and Champ 3 is sort of just become a GC 1, but just like all the players that were in GC 1 that obviously got D-ranked a little bit, that's sort of what it feels like. The skill level in these lobbies is very, very similar to those of GC 1, and I can say that having played in both these ranks, and it just makes the games really, really tough. As well as that, not only are there people that have just dropped down, but there's plenty of people that are pretty much blatantly smurfing in these ranks, and it just makes it even more the most rage-inducing just rank in Rocket League to play in. It just makes it less and less enjoyable for those of us that are just hard stuck here trying to rank up, as we queue into games and just play people that, let's be real, as much as we like to think we have a chance, we don't really, because they are a higher rank and they're smurfing, and it just makes it that little bit more unfair for us. And it pushes us that little bit more over the edge and can affect it, maybe turn it into a bad session. So yeah, smurfing for Rocket League, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Especially in Champ, it's a big problem that needs to be sorted out. Let's move on to reason number 5. So now moving on to my 5th and final reason why I believe Champ is the worst rank in Rocket League is just going to be the problem of solo queuing. Now don't get me wrong, again I've mentioned this before, solo queuing is a problem in the entire of the Rocket League ranks. It's not just in Champ. It's a problem in Platinum, other ranks, Gold, you know how it is. There's problems pretty much in every single rank with solo queuing. But in Champ, it can't just be me that feels it's exceptionally bad. And I just want to take a quick second to say thank you for reaching this point in the video. If you have and you are new, please feel free to subscribe for more. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and drop a like. It does greatly help me out, and I hope you're enjoying the channel. Feel free to check out some other videos. Back to the point though. Solo queuing again links to the idea of the inconsistency that I talked about before. Every single game you've got to connect with a new teammate, you're not sure of their playstyle, you're not sure what level of mechanics they're capable to do, you're not sure how consistent they're going to be, and what it leads to is again just the low levels of trust in teammates per game, which leads to bad chemistry between team, and especially when you're having to adapt to a new player every single game, it just makes it that little bit more difficult to try and rank up and escape this rank. And I think it's exceptionally bad in Champ due to the extreme levels of inconsistency in the rank. Just causes solo queuing to really be quite a painful and not really enjoyable experience, which takes away from how enjoyable Rocket League is meant to be overall. But obviously there is the flip side to this. You can queue as a duo, and to be fair, I think queuing with a friend, or if you get good chemistry with a player and you party up with them, that's also a good idea. Both these tactics can be used to help obviously you improve. For me personally, the second I started playing with a player consistently and getting more wins, that helped us improve and both rank out of Champ. That was eventually how I managed to get out of the rank. It's just getting good chemistry with one player, playing with them consistently, and eventually being able to get out of the Champ rank. But yeah, solo queuing is a major problem, and I feel that in order to really escape the Champ rank, you need to party up with someone. So overall then guys, those are the 5 reasons why I feel Champ is the worst rank in Rocket League. 1 to play in and 2 to try and escape. Let me know what you guys do think in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys for watching up until this part of the video. Make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.